What up, everybody? It's iPadBeatmaking.com here today on Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022, giving you some news you can use and just want to talk to y'all for a few minutes. First off, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. And if you aren't currently subscribed, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And join our Discord where we keep the conversation going and talk about everything music, hardware, iOS related, and more. The gang in there keeps it interesting, so be sure to click on the link in the pinned comment. Now, in case you don't know, it is a good day to be an iOS music producer. By the day, more interfaces are dropping with iOS compatibility in mind. Take the Duet 3 for instance, which recently dropped an app featuring the ECS channel strip, which uses the onboard DSP of the Duet 3, or the Symphony desktop, where we can use all of the Apogee plugins on board with the Symphony desktop DSP. We are truly able to get pro quality recordings right on the iPad or iPhone. And workflow is another thing that I'm really starting to enjoy about iOS. The other day I was using a desktop DAW with FabFilter plugins. Then I got bored and decided, you know what, let me go to iOS and create. And I was loving tweaking the same FabFilter plugin, but on the touchscreen. The experience was way funner and much more tactile. And AU MIDI effects are way more handy than anything available on desktop outside of Logic, and apps like AUM spoil us with infinite routing possibilities. And I say all this to say that I think iOS music has arrived. Would I love a true desktop class DAW and a real-time auto-tune AUV3 that sounds as good as auto-tune on desktop? Of course I would. Would I like to see Omnisphere and other world-renowned virtual instruments on iOS with external hard drive compatibility? You already know this, but I think that the day of iOS being a toy is over. You can accomplish pro-level things with iOS, there's no question about it, and desktop developers are coming around and realizing that fact. Baby Audio threw its hat into the iOS app space not too long ago with the great free apps Magic Dice and Magic Switch, and is now up their offerings to what appears to be a one-to-one plugin of their desktop app Crystalline. It's currently at $30 for iOS and $49 for desktop. It is said to go up to $100 on desktop. I don't know if the price will increase on iOS, but if I had to guess, I think it's going to stay right there at $30. Now, I know that some people are shocked at the price, but let's be honest. If we want desktop class plugins and one-to-one ports like that of FabFilter, Swarm, and so many others, then we're going to have to pay the developers a fair price that keeps them motivated and sustainable. So I'm cool with the $30 price tag personally. I think we got to realize that not everything is for everybody. So if you feel the burn at the $30 price point, simply use a different reverb. There are plenty of low cost to free options, but it's good to be able to get the pro options as well when we want to actually splurge. And for those wondering, I actually haven't grabbed this app yet, but I plan to for both iOS and desktop because I'm currently building out a hybrid workflow where I can start a project on iOS and finish it on desktop or vice versa. Multi-Track Studio is the DAW I currently feel is the best solution for this, but due to the fact that ZenBeats is compatible with the iPhone also, something that MTS is not, it's also an interesting multi-platform solution as well. And moving on to another app that is bringing a desktop port over to iOS, we've got Scalar dropping on Friday the 24th. And let me tell you, this is an absolute game changer when it comes to creating chord compositions. It's taken my music productions to another place entirely and really helped me get some new vibes. For instance, I made the foundation of this track here with it.
I left at midnight without saying goodbye, 'cause I was chasing mine. Mama said, son, that car too fly. Boy, you can't park on my street. So I parked a quarter-mile away. Then knew, but back, hope I didn't miss anything. Since you left, I just been doing the same, and that's just chasing money. Yeah.
Now, I would have never come up with a track that jazzy naturally, so Scalar has been something like a cheat code for me. I would love to show y'all my process with it, but I'm gonna respect the devs' wishes and not demonstrate the plugin until after it's released, which is planned to be on Friday the 24th. But do you know what's supposed to be dropping on Thursday the 23rd? An incredible MPC 2.11 update that has been having the internet going crazy. If you're an MPC user, I'm sure you already know about this, but what's even crazier is that tomorrow is rumored to be the release date of the MPC Key 61. Yes, this is a thing. Yes, this is happening. So far, based on a Synth Anatomy article, this is what we know. It's got a quad-core ARM processor, 4 GB of RAM, 32 GB of internal storage with a dedicated bay for SSD expansion, semi-weighted 61-key keybed with aftertouch, 16 velocity-sensitive MPC drum pads with note repeat, assignable touch strip controller, 4 assignable Q-Lead controller knobs, pitch bend modulation wheels, dedicated transport section, vibrant 7-inch color screen with multi-touch and gestures, audio interface with high-quality A to D and D to A converters. It accepts class-compliant audio interfaces and MIDI devices, sounds button for fast browsing, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth for Ableton Link synchronization, 8 CV gate output jacks for modular integration, MIDI in, out, through, and a USB hub, 2 mic line inputs with high-end preamps, and 4 discrete line outputs. It will be priced at $18.99, which is pretty incredible for all that's on offer here. So as an iOS music maker, what are my thoughts? Well, I've got the MPC Live 2, and honestly, I don't use it too much, because I feel like the machine is better when connected to the computer than it with its workflow and its NKS libraries, and I feel like iOS is actually better standalone than the MPC is. iOS has more plugins, a better touchscreen, and much better loading times. In fact, it's the loading times of the key groups which really keep me off of the MPC Live 2 as much as I would like to use it. Some of these nice key group libraries can make it take up to 90 seconds to save, and in today's fast-paced world, where we are just used to instant gratification with our technology, that's just too much. iOS is zippy and much more adaptable to however I want to work on that particular day in that particular moment. Now, with all that said, there is no denying that the Live 2 is extremely musical and powerful, especially for a standalone device, and that speaker on board is clutch. However, I feel the MPC Key is more than just an MPC Live with the piano controller attached. I think it's more than the sum of its parts as far as workstations go, and due to the fact that they're adding more plugins, I think this will be an incredible device. I hope Akai adds an app store to this thing and gives us one-to-one desktop virtual instrument offerings in the process. So let's compare it dollar for dollar. If you were to ask me whether I would get a 12.9 M1 iPad Pro or this MPC Key 61, I think I'm grabbing the MPC Key 61. Why is that? Because I don't see enough difference in daily use to separate the older or the cheaper iPads from the more expensive M1 Pro line for music production. So I would take a cheaper or older iPad plus an MPC key over, say, a 2TB M1 iPad Pro. I think the MPC Key is going to set the market on fire, and this is a good thing. We've had a lot of stability, which has led to complacency in the marketplace as far as workstations go. In my opinion, of course, you might feel differently, but I really like Akai's approach and pricing here. They could have easily asked $24.99 for this, but the $18.99 price is inviting, and it shows that Akai is actually reading the room. We've got wars going on, inflation, record gas prices, and more, and this feels extremely fair from Akai, even with all that going on in the background. Now, I wish they added more Q-links and speakers to this workstation, but you know what? I think it'll be fine. I predict that the MPC Key will flip the music world on its head, and I am here for it. But what are your thoughts on all that I just talked about? Let me know in the comment section down below, and be sure to join us on Discord and keep the conversation going. With all that said, I'm about to get out of here. Please be sure to hit the like button as well as the subscribe button and the notification bell. With all that said, it's iPadbeatmaking.com. Peace.